All right, folks, welcome back to Elkwood Sports. This is Jack. We're going to start off with a little advice for Kyle Busch. Man, run. Run as fast as you can in any direction, any other organization. Just get the hell out of Dodge, man. Seriously. And I'd do it sooner than later. All right, with that being said, this is going to be a little hard on me because the three car got me into racing. I had four buddies that took me to a race. They were all Earnhardt fans. I didn't want to be like them, so I ended up being a Rusty fan, but that's how this whole thing started. And I've already said that the two most polarizing figures I've ever seen are Dale Sr. and Tony Stewart. So this does kind of hurt. My impression of the wreck, seriously, was that I think the three teams felt entitled that they should have had the win. They had the fastest car with 2 laps to go. In their minds, that was their win to take. That's the only thing that I can say, but that ain't right. That is not right at all. What was taken away from it was Joey put on a clinic. Joey, I seriously think, would have probably beaten anybody with that restart. I can't believe that he got that kind of distance in 2 laps at Richmond. Absolutely picture perfect. And it's taken away, So I have said in many wrecks throughout the years that some would happen and I go, NASCAR has to take a look. NASCAR has to take a look at this one or that one. But I have never said NASCAR has to do something. Now, I'm going to go to Austin Dillon. Don't have anything against the guy. Watched the show. Seems like a decent dude. But I'm going to read what he said after the race. So he's asked, was that a fair move? I don't know, man. It's been 2 years, and the first car I had with a shot to win. Felt like with 2 to go, we were the fastest car. Needed the straightaway in order to wreck the guy. I hate to do that. Sometimes you just got to have it. Then he goes on to say, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes up to a point. That was across the line. That was a punk move. It was. I went back all last week, watched so many wrecks. I watched that particular wreck and the last 2 laps probably 50 times. Watched it in frame by frame. There's no doubt what happened. There's no way to deny it. So I was kind of okay with Austin until qualifying. This got me. So in qualifying, hopefully, this is what he had to say. Hopefully, after the appeal, when we get back into the playoffs where we deserve to be. All right. Just excited about what we got going at RCR. Then he goes on to say, with the appeal, I got to be careful what I give out right now. It's going to be a trial because I haven't really given my side of the story. I will give all my feelings after the appeal. Said that he slept just fine that night. Then he goes on later to say that NASCAR is everything in his life, how he met his wife and stuff. That was just kissing NASCAR's ass. But are you kidding me? Your side of the story. Why do we need your side of the story? You're the one hitting everybody. We need the other people's side of the story. We got enough cameras around. I've seen that thing in slow motion. There's no doubt what happened. None. And I have never been happier with NASCAR. You had to step in. You did it. Now take all the stuff that I don't have, like brakes and how fast they were going, angles, everything. Just put everything in a bank that you can. And somehow we can create a template of maybe what's more clear of what's allowed and what's not allowed. You had to step up on this. And you can't go back on this. Because if you go back on this, seriously, you're going to open Pandora's box. You're going to have bigger problems than you know what to do with. This was the right move. I'm not sure why I got the win. What I would have done is, even for the one with Logano, that would have been a 2-lap penalty. He would have finished in third. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I'm not as mad at Austin as I am against this guy. Holy crap. RCR. Oh, Richard Childress. Pop-Pop's proud? Are you kidding me? I wonder what other owners thought about that. You're proud of that? Really? And then I look on the internet and people are saying Dale Earnhardt would have made the same move. Bullshit. I went back and looked. I don't even think Dale would have accepted the trophy for that race. You gotta be kidding me. You're proud of that? Telling you, man, that's pathetic. That is just absolutely pathetic as an owner. Kyle, get the hell out of there. All right. Now I'm going to talk about Kyle Busch on another note. Kyle went on the Pat McAfee show. I want more drivers to go on that show. Real quickly on the Pat McAfee show. They talk about other sports, mainly football. That's true. But that's why I want drivers to go on. To me, they have the best platform in sports. And they do sports right. Now, a lot of people like that show. Some people don't. But do me a favor. If you don't like that show, man, just don't watch. Don't rip the guy up and down, for things or how he says things or anything. And for that matter, you don't like what I'm saying, turn me off. Oh, shit. My one viewer might have turned himself off, but I'm still going to go on. But it was a good interview. And they got Kyle to talk a little bit about stage racing. And one thing I didn't know is I guess they got a group of veterans around to talk to him about Phantom Flex. So I guess I wasn't aware that was happening. But again, NASCAR, this was the day. This was the day that everything changed. But big changes have to come. The whole reason I'm doing this is because of viewership. I believe viewership is where the money's at. And do you know that next year, seriously, you could be looking at, besides the Daytona 500, on every day you race, you might get out, I don't know if this is a word, out viewership by another sport. You go up against football, you're going to lose. Everybody does. Basketball, same thing. But now you got the WNBA, and they are exploding. It's real possible. UFL probably took some viewership out of it. That's why I want to go on other platforms that talk about other stuff than just NASCAR. Now, I watched a lot of podcasts this week, too, about the wreck, everybody's opinion on it. There are some great podcasts out there. I got to tell you, I know that people boo Hamlin, but I'm telling you, the guy's smart. The guy's a great driver. I hear he's cocky. Well, does he? He might deserve to be a little cocky. The guy's great, but his podcast is wonderful. I mean, he was saying something about how NASCAR was trying to create stuff. That's so true. That's so true in other sports, too. I mean, the guy, I was really impressed with his podcast. And so everything I talk about is going to be about viewership. Making this stand right here, making this call, that helps. The other thing is I want drivers to go on other, see, when you go on other places where they talk about other sports, I just feel maybe you can get some new viewership in. Kind of humanize these drivers to people that don't know. We all know. So that's one of the things for viewership. Number two is rivalries. But you can't really create them. And it can't be the 5 and the 11. I just don't think it can. They're both too good. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when the 11 was running them up the hill, they were touching and they're going around the corner, and I believe it was a spotter that said to Larson, You know why he drives you like that is because you let him. Then he told him to F off, and I thought it was funny. But I don't know Kyle Larson, but this is what I think when stuff like that happens, especially with the 11. I think he knows that those two are so good. They can go around the corner, touch and get away with. And I think in his mind, he's so calculated that he's thinking, you know what, sometime in this race or sometime in another race, I'm going to need the same thing. And I mean, it was obviously 11 was faster at the time. And maybe there'll be some good, give and take. I truly believe these are the top two drivers. Those are the two, I only have two in my top four so far. And that would be the 5 and the 11. And my advice to them, keep Penske out of there. That has not been going well, man. They get in at Phoenix. Whew. So, but I don't believe that could be a rivalry. Could have a rivalry, with everybody against Kyle, because Kyle is the man. But everybody, and I mean everybody, is getting closer. So, I mean, from 1 to maybe 18, this is as solid of a field as I've ever seen. That's why I think these moves need to be now. Something has to be done. Viewership needs to, we need to do something about, viewership. Okay, so I watch a lot of sports and I crunch a lot of numbers. So what you're looking at, I should have waited till this week to even go in what I was trying to do with the points. But if you look behind me, if you look at NASCAR's points, first thing notice, we're working with the same driver, the exact same driver. The only thing that's different is the bubble. And I'm going to do another one this week and get the kind of what the bubble drivers are for these last two races. But so NASCAR's version with all those high numbers, that's all the stage points that are being put into the system. I can't stand it because I do not believe that that's telling you who had the better seat. I'm going to show you right now. So if you look where the 1 is on mine, he's in third place with 319. Now he doesn't have a shot to run for the regular season title. That's a two-man race right now. But man, on the other side, because of stage points, he has a real shot of not making it. Now, one thing I do need to add there is NASCAR system is what the drivers knew the point system would be. If they were ever to run my point system, they would know that too, and things would be different. They would race, I'm sure, much different. But these stages and these stage points, man, they gotta change. This is the time. You made this move with the wreck. We need to see races play out. We just have to. We're missing so much. And now guys are taking 4 seconds of gas, to win a race at the end or win a stage or whatever. Why in the hell would we care where they're at lap 65? Why in the hell do I care where they're at lap 150? To me, that one car in his finishes is having a better year than the people you see that have not won. So what you're looking at back there is the people that are in black are already through. They're already through. The red have not won yet, and that would be your bubble. So I did notice that the bubble on NASCAR's and the bubble on mine are almost opposite. That is something I'm going to look into. But it's not changing the way that I feel about the points and chase racing. And you're having too many cautions in the chase, or in the stage, excuse me. I believe changing stuff like this is going to, and then you mark it. Say we're going backwards to go forward. I'm telling you, I think it would work. I think with these drivers right now, seriously, because Larson is the best, but I'm telling you, there is probably 5, maybe 6, maybe 7, that are right behind him. And then there's 10 others that aren't that far off. I am so impressed with the 45 right now. In my point system, the 9 was running away with it the whole season. So this is Michigan back here. All right. I'm going to show you, no, this is before Michigan. So I'm going to show you just how I think it should work. So if you look up there, you see on mine that going into Michigan, that the 9 had an 11-point lead on the 45. So the 45 wins, the 9 comes in 15th. Without even turning on a computer or anything, I can go home from that race knowing that, hey, my car just took the lead. So I'm going to flip this page real quick, and this is the points after Michigan. All right. So now you can see where he took the lead. Again, black you're in, and red you're out. Now, I can't tell you what we're missing. When you know what lap you're going to pit on, man, it takes so much strategy out of it. I want those days back. I want to be able to compare Kyle Larson to the greats. You know, it's funny when I did that segment on Kyle, comparing him to the 48 to the 24, I thought he was more like the 24. I think I was wrong. See, the 24 seems to me that was just pure raw talent. I mean, just could do anything with the car. The 48 was so smooth, calculated, almost a chess player out there. And I think that's what Larson is. You know, I saw it at Sonoma. He's just great. But I happen to think he's got somebody in his own stable that's really. The 11, I think, has a 3-year span to win the championship here, and I hope he does. I know a lot of players don't, or a lot of people don't like him, but I respect the hell out of that man, and I hope he wins his championship. And I think it's a 3-year window right here, one of these years. So very well could be this year. All right. So I'm going to end this thing now on something very exciting for me. I have only had 2 drivers. I love a lot of drivers, but in my circle, everybody has different drivers. It's not true now. Actually, I got a couple of friends that are both Larson fans, but for the most part, we all have different drivers. That's why it's not so easy to pick. I picked mine halfway through the summer. Finally. I've only had 2. Rusty Wallace, who I said, and Kyle's brother, Kurt Busch. And I loved them both. Shout out to you, Kurt. My thoughts are with you. I loved them both, but I have not been able to pick a driver since he retired. Well, I got one now, and I don't know if he's going to like me, but it's Christopher Bell, man. Love the guy, and I will be loyal, and I will be through your ups and downs. But I love the way you drive, and I love what you said. You like to figure things out. That just struck me. I got my driver now. Now I got to go buy a whole bunch of gear and change this room a little bit. So I'm very excited about that. But I do want to give him a message as his hopefully super fan. I've heard he's really kind of low key and quiet, and me not so much. So he may not like me as a fan, but look, man, if you're ever in a position where you haven't won in 68 races, and even if you're outside of the championship or the playoffs and looking in, don't make that move, man. Do not make the move that Austin Dillon did. It is not worth your integrity. And it's definitely not worth the integrity of this sport. Until next time, guys, this is Upwood Sport.